Imagine what it'd be like to never have a boss again. This Louisiana native has built a 7-figure income by mastering a simple element on YouTube. Not only is Michelle getting the attention of millions of people every month, but what she's doing behind the scenes can cause just one of her videos to make tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm gonna show you exactly how she does it. If you want to talk about quitting your job and becoming your own boss, if you want to talk about entrepreneurship, there's not a better way that I can think of other than creating videos online to do that. And this daredevil has built an absolute empire from nothing to creating her own full-time income, creating videos on YouTube. So in today's episode, we're going to be covering Michelle Khare's channel and how she's been able to make a full-time living creating videos on YouTube. And the way we're going to do that is I'll break down a few different areas. The first being an overview of her channel. Then we're going to talk about her most popular video and about how much revenue that it's generated. And lastly, we're going to talk about the secret strategy that she uses to get millions and millions of views every time that she uploads. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Michelle has built over 4 million subscribers, and to date, she generated over 500 million views on her content. Now, if you look at the history of the channel, she's been on YouTube for 7 years and has uploaded over 200 videos. And this is the natural progression of any YouTube creator that starts. Your first work is not going to be your best work. And if you look at her very first video compared to her more recent work, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's take a peek.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My arms look like they're 6 feet long.
From the time of Michelle's first upload until now, she has mastered the craft of being able to capture attention and get people to view her videos. And she's doing something very specific to attract viewers and get massive views on every video she uploads. But I'll show you her trick later on. But the next thing I wanted to explain is exactly how creators are paid on YouTube, because not a lot of people understand it. And the big misconception is you can just start creating videos and you're going to start earning checks from ad revenue. That couldn't be further from the truth, because there's really two main factors that every creator has to meet before you can start collecting ad revenue on your videos. The first is you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers. And secondly, you have to have at least 4,000 watch hours across your entire channel before you're eligible to receive ad revenue from YouTube. See, the way YouTubers are paid is based off of a dollar figure that they get per 1,000 views across their channel. But the complicated thing is there's no two creators that get paid the exact same amount of money. And the reason why is there's a number of factors that go into influencing that dollar figure. Now, through extensive research, I've broken down the 4 main factors that influence the dollar figure that a creator is paid. And starting at the very top is the topic or category that their videos or their channel is about. Next is the demographic, which can be the age group or the gender that typically consumes the content. Next is the location. If most of your viewers are based in the United States versus, let's say, India, that will heavily influence the dollar figure that you receive. And lastly is the length of the video. The longer your video is, the more ad breaks will play, which will increase the dollar amount that you receive off of that content. So with all that said, what's the dollar amount that Michelle's channel receives per 1,000 views for her videos? And to determine that, I'm using a study that was conducted analyzing over 40 YouTubers' channels to come up with an average dollar figure per category or topic of the channel. Now we need to determine what category that Michelle's channel falls under, and I do have a bit of a cheat tool for me to do so. It's a software plugin from vidIQ that analyzes the behind the scenes of creators' channels, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the software later. But what that tells me is that Michelle's channel falls under the category of entertainment. So now let's go back to Michelle's channel and stack rank her most viewed videos. And looking at her page, her most popular video is titled, "I Tried Marine Boot Camp." And it's gotten millions and millions of views to date. Now there's a reason why this specific video took off for her. And if it's not obvious to you, I'll give you a couple of tips. If you're listening on podcast, I have the thumbnail pulled up, which is the image that you see before you click into the video. And what Michelle's done here is genius. It's really just a picture of her standing in a military uniform with a blank look on her face, and then a drill sergeant standing in front of her yelling. It's an extremely simple concept, but it immediately grabs your attention and almost forces you to look down at the title. And then the title plays off of the thumbnail by saying, "I tried Marine Boot Camp." Now there's a couple of things that this does. Number one, it implies that she's not a Marine. And then number two, the word tried really opens the door to the possibility that she fails. But there's only one way to find out, which is watch the video. Another detail worth mentioning is that this video is 23 minutes and 28 seconds long. And as we already discussed, the longer the video, the more ad breaks, which equals more money. Looking at the average dollar figure for someone in entertainment, it's $2.74 per 1,000 views. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's not much money at all. But our most popular video got 17 million views. Now, based off the data from this one video, her channel would make an estimated $46,580. If the number is half wrong, it's still $23,000 off of one video. How much was your last paycheck? I'm just saying, she has been able to create a business for herself where she's doing what she loves and she's making a living off of it, getting paid way more than what she would working a traditional job. And if you recall, I mentioned she has over 500 million views on her channel. I'll let you do the math, but it gets scary at that point. But with all these figures that we ran through, the most shocking thing is that for most YouTubers, the money they receive from ad revenue usually represents the least amount of money that they make in total. See, I've done a lot of research on how exactly YouTubers get paid. And what I found is that there are 7 most common ways that people make money off of creating videos. And if you'd like to know more about what that is, I've put together a free ebook that you can download instantly that details out all the different ways that YouTubers get paid. And a lot of these strategies can start making you money even before you reach 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So if you want to check that out, it'll be linked in the show notes below, or you can visit notitribe.com/YouTube. Now, from the methods that I break down in this ebook, it's not out of the question for a creator to receive anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 to $20,000 or $50,000 a month once you put them to work. But you still have to understand how to get views on your content. Because after all, if you're not getting clicks, you're not getting checks. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you is a tool that I've been using to quote unquote spy on other YouTubers. But not only is it good for that, it is also the #1 tool that helps creators both grow their channels and grow their earnings. So check this out. In recent years, content creators have earned over $100 billion, and YouTube is arguably the highest paying social platform on the market. If you're looking to make more money, creating content online is something you need to look into. But even though YouTube is a gold mine, it can be hard to make money without learning the art of getting people to click on your videos. Thankfully, we have vidIQ, which is the #1 YouTube educator that teaches the exact methods of how to get views so you can start making money fast. They offer personalized coaching and advice, whether you're just getting started or if you've been creating for years. vidIQ also helps by providing you with trending video ideas so you can get more views, and they offer the best analytics so that you can track your performance. Millions of people are using vidIQ to grow their audience and their income, including some of the top creators. If you're ready to start making money online, sign up to vidIQ for free by heading over to vidiq.com/justnotified or tapping the link in the show notes below. Again, that's vidiq.com/justnotified. So with that, I'm going to give you a crash course on exactly what Michelle is doing to get millions of views that you can learn from to do the same. The example that I'm going to use is a video that she posted that got 3.1 million views, and it's titled, "I ran a marathon in the hottest place on earth." Now, what a lot of people don't understand is there's some psychology behind what gets a viewer to click on a video. And one of the most important details is the thumbnail or the image that is seen before somebody clicks on your content. If you've never heard of the rule of 3 before, it's really just a rule of thumb that you can follow to keep your thumbnail simple. Now, if you see on this thumbnail, Michelle has a picture of herself, a background of a desert, and then text saying 130 degrees. That's 3 objects. Now, what's the reason for this? A recent study shows that the average attention span of a human nowadays is 8 seconds. And I would even argue when someone's on social media scrolling through their feed, it's even less than that. So ideally, what you want to do with your thumbnails is create something simple that grabs attention, that's not cluttered with text or multiple objects, that will take somebody a long time to dissect to understand the meaning. Now, the next tip that we can take from Michelle's strategy is her title. See, the thumbnail is merely created to grab your attention for long enough to look at the title, and the title is meant to hook you to click on the video. Now, how does she do it? The title reads, "I ran a marathon in the hottest place on earth." Now, there's a lot of stakes to that. She could simply have titled it, "I ran a marathon," and that probably would not have gotten 3.1 million views. But she raised the stakes and she put herself through an experience by running a marathon in the hottest place on earth. I mean, you can't really get much more than that. And I'll say for me, this was the first video that I ever watched from Michelle, and there was no way that I wasn't going to click on it. I had to learn what was going to happen to her, what struggles that she was going to face. I'm not gonna lie, I watched the video like 4 times since then. It's that good. And the last thing that I wanted to cover about her strategy is probably one of the most common mistakes that I see in new YouTubers, and that's the intro. See, one of the hardest realizations for new YouTubers or someone who's looking to grow their channel is that nobody cares about you. And I don't mean that to be harsh, but a lot of the times when I click on someone's video and the intro starts with them saying, "Hey, my name is Jake. I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas. I like long walks on the beach and large bowls of ice cream." That's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, because whoever clicked on that video is expecting something. And if you give them something other than what they expect, generally that person will leave your video, and that can impact your performance on that video. So how exactly does Michelle Khare do it? Let's take a look at her intro for "I ran a marathon in the hottest place on earth."
This is Death Valley, the hottest place on Earth.
The hottest recorded temperature anywhere on the planet.
So, what would happen to the human body if you ran a marathon here in the hottest month of the year?
I mean, that is an absolute masterpiece because it immediately delivers the value that the viewer expected when they clicked on the video. These are a few of the most important strategies that Michelle uses to get millions and millions of views on her videos. But I will say the one thing about YouTube is you have to put in the work to learn the art and put in the reps to get better and better over time. Michelle's been on the platform for 7 years now. She's uploaded over 200 pieces of content, and I would argue with every video she gets better, and the same can happen for you if you just stick with it. So if you are looking for a way to escape the 9 to 5, to slap your boss in the face and say, "I quit," I'm playing, don't do that. But if you want to quit your job and start something on your own that's doing what you love and making a living from that, YouTube is absolutely the best place to start. If you've gotten any value out of this episode, like and subscribe on YouTube and leave a 5-star rating on podcasts, because not only does it help me more than you could imagine, it also helps this content to reach other people that could use this information. But if you want to learn about even more ways to make money, stay tuned and I'll be back shortly.
I've been on my